So, welcome back, everyone. This is a part of a series of interviews we're conducting with National Youth Climate Activism Award alumni. And today I'm delighted to be chatting with Parker, who I think is a prime example of being proactive upon seeing problems in the community. Now, the NYCAA is nurturing the passions of young people who are taking climate action. And if you're interested in us further, you can feel free to explore the website as well as its other initiatives. Now, Parker, to begin, can you briefly outline your journey of environmental action?
Yeah, so growing up in Kamloops, I was definitely surrounded by a lot of impacts of climate change. This was floods and wildfires every summer. And so from a young age, I was definitely exposed to a lot of stuff like that. And it made me think about, oh, what are ways we can kind of help with this stuff? Since then, when I was in high school, I joined my local climate action club that we had, and it was so fun. We got to do so many projects just raising awareness, promoting sustainability. And from that, I was able to start my own sustainability project called Restoring Our Riverbanks. And that has just been such an amazing experience so far of just promoting sustainable riparian restoration and management.
Mhm. I mean, that's an experience that not a lot of people can relate to, being so proximate to the direct results of, well, whether it may be or not, climate change and just any sort of environmental risks. And I think it's amazing that you took action at your school and with your community for restoring our riverbanks. Now, can you tell me more about what it is you guys have done and maybe a bit of the impact it's had?
Yeah, for sure. So I started this project back in December of 2022. It originally started as just a research project for my career class. We had to do like a capstone kind of thing. And I was like, this seems fun. Let's do this. And, 3 years later, we're still working on it. But the project basically outlines ways to sustainably restore this section of the North Thompson River. It's about a 650-foot section full of old rusty cars that were put there back in the 1970s, just to like try and prevent erosion. Unfortunately, that did not work. And so now the not only has the riverbank receded, but also there's still just a ton of rusty cars. And because it's in such an exposed area of land, it's also in a public park. And so lots of dogs, people, if you're swimming by the river, the cars are right there. It's not a very pretty sight nor a safe one. And so my project outlined ways to sustainably remove and restore that area of this riverbank. So instead of maybe putting riprap or just, a band-aid over top of it, I wanted to restore it in a way that would reflect its natural environment because right across from the riverbank, it wasn't eroding as fast. And that involved the use of cottonwoods and willows and lots of like just natural and native plants that would just normally root in the soil and keep it at bay. Whereas because this part of the riverbank is so eroded because of people walking, there's not a lot of trees, it just keeps receding. And so my project outlines ways to use natural resources and, native trees and bushes to try and hold back the erosion to stop it from, you know, coming into the city. So that's kind of the gist of the plan. And so far, we're still kind of in the planning stage. We have a plan outline as of December, um, which has been amazing to fully see that go through. I've been very grateful to work with the Pacific Salmon Foundation, the Department of Fisheries and Ocean Canada. I've been collaborating as well with the Secwépemc Fisheries Commission and the city of Kamloops here and there. And so, yeah, it's been great for collaborating, for networking, and for trying to get this project done.
I mean, it sounds amazing. It started off as just this careers class project, but then you really paired your intellectualism with your activism, and you've rallied so many youths with you and all of these organizations for this incredible cause. So thank you for sharing all of that, Parker. Now, I have another question for you. Is there a piece of climate related news or information right now that really excites you?
Yeah, so there's a few pieces actually. At more of a global standpoint, is my understanding that all of Europe within like the past year has been using more solar energy than coal energy, and this is the first time this has ever happened. This is very exciting news, and hopefully that means a lot more for the future. Um, and for more of a local standpoint, I know a lot of people are upset about, the tariffs being imposed on Canada, but I think it's been a great reminder of how important it is to buy local and buy Canadian products. And I think that it's been just so amazing seeing people, promote local businesses to buy a little bit more sustainably. We're really promoting not only our economy, but we're also promoting sustainable living by buying from people around us. And I think that that's been just so amazing. I mean, I've always kind of promoted sustainable living by trying to, learn from your neighbors, buy from your neighbors, that kind of thing. And so it's amazing to see it become such a widespread thing across Canada.
Hmm. Well, it speaks volumes that you are so passionate about sustainable living. And I do agree that there is trickle-down effects in terms of environmental related things that happen because of these broader changes happening in our nation and around the world. Now, Parker, if your activism was a movie, I'm curious, what would its title be?
Oh boy, that's a really good question. If mine was a movie, I don't know. The trials and tribulations of trying to do a riverbank project. um,
I would click. I would click on that movie.
yeah, yeah, it'll be good. Trust, we're in the works.
Hmm. Yeah, I know that any youth activist goes through a roller coaster of things, especially as youth. I think there's existing challenges with the both lack of experience, but also lack of existing networks. But I think that's part of the beauty and the joy of being a youth activist as well. And I could definitely see that in you, Parker. At this time, do you have any advice for other activists, whether they're up and coming or have their existing work, and whether that is environmental related or non-environmental related causes?
Yeah, I think it's really important to not just do it on your own. I know it seems really tempting to take on a project, especially if you're really passionate about it. I'm very guilty of that. But I think it's so important to get your community involved. I think just even having that support base, if they're not explicitly helping out with your project, as long as they're there to support you and cheer you on for your different projects, I think it's so important to be involved that way. And it'll also spread awareness within your community of, oh, if this person can do it, like whether, you're 14 or you're 40 or you're 70 and you're just trying to start doing, climate awareness, environmental awareness, any sort of public project. I think it's so important to be someone that people look up to in your community to show that kind of anybody can do it. I know it was a little difficult for me to find the confidence to do my project because I felt like I hadn't really seen anybody try and do it. I mean, there had been, um, tries and hardships with trying to clear up the riverbank, but I don't know, it was very daunting for me to try and really go for it. And I think if I had had somebody who had kind of proved that it's doable, or just more people that had supported me like right at the beginning, like I have so much support now. Like it's been so amazing and so inspiring. But I think whether you find that support in your community or you are that support for others in your community, I think is just super crucial.
Mhm. And thank you for taking on the crucial idea of, your dual role as an activist to be the championer of whatever it is and also help other champions in their own way. And I do think there is definitely a compounding effect when you have people around you. You build more awareness that way and you have more, I guess, hands on deck. And from your story about overcoming the dauntingness of starting riverbank work, I think it speaks again volumes to your proactivity and for seeing beyond immediate challenges but still taking action. So I really appreciate that, Parker.
Thank you.
And sort of taking along this idea, how do you think youth specifically can effectively change minds and thereby the status quo?
I think that the youth have been underestimated in their power that they have within a community. I think a lot of the time we're just seen as kids, which is true, but I think we are the future of a generation, and every kid, like before us and after us, will be the future of their generation. And it's important to establish what our values are as the generation and to establish what we think needs to happen. And I think that our generation has been so good and so proactive at establishing, we would like to save our planet. Like that's our biggest thing is we want to save our planet. We want to be environmentally friendly, be sustainable. I think we really are the forefront of everything that's going to happen. And there's no person too young, too small, too much of like a kid to start promoting or start activate or I guess start doing activism for this kind of stuff. I think, yeah, I feel like people are starting to, not underestimate us as much, seeing the power that we can do. Greta Thunberg, she started out, kind of an underdog, and now look at her. She's such an amazing activist for the world. Like one person can start kind of promoting that kind of stuff, and it gives other kids confidence, and it's just, a ripple effect of people doing amazing things. And we are still young. There's still lots of growth for people to do within these projects, but I think starting out this strong has been a really great thing.
Hmm. Oh, again, so inspiring. Thanks for sharing that. And now I'm curious, do you have a go-to hype up song or a sort of quote or message that you tell yourself to motivate you as you navigate your time being an activist, leader, a student, and just a human being in general?
Yeah, I think I don't have a specific quote that I say to myself, but I do try and remind myself that it'll work out. Like it will. Whether, this meeting doesn't go so well or, this project didn't pan out, the next one will, or the one after that. Like I feel like it's very important to not put yourself down when things get tough. I know it's very hard to stay positive, especially in our current times like this. It's difficult to maintain that positivity. But I think if you maintain a realism about it, about maybe it didn't work out this time, but that's okay because I'm going to build myself up again and I'm going to retry and I'm going to do it again and do it again. I think having that constant mantra of I can do it is the biggest thing for me when trying to do any sort of climate activism.
Yes, and I could definitely see how that ethos has really, I guess, like been a part of your character when you started restoring riverbanks and for overcoming all those challenges along the way. And I think it's also funny how, as you said, when we fail something, we can succeed later on, but that success can also look in different ways. It could show up in different parts of our life, and the universe kind of has a take and give rather than a give and take. Like I kind of see it as, failure leads to something positive, whether that's just learning or later on success, which can manifest in different ways. And I think it's very wise of you to share all of that with us. So thank you, Parker. My next question is, why did you specifically apply to the NYCAA? And after winning the award in 2023, how has the NYCAA ecosystem enriched you or your work?
Yeah, so I initially applied to the YCAA because I had been doing my riverbank project for so long and I had really solidified what I wanted to do as a career. I'm currently at the University of Victoria for biology and hopefully going into, restoration. So that's, it's definitely made a big impact. And the YCAA just seemed like it's such an amazing opportunity to kind of showcase that project. And, the award is also amazing. Like it really helped me financially to kind of pursue my goals and my dreams of going to this school. Um, but it's just been such a great platform, honestly, to, raise awareness. And because of this project, I've been able to go on like CFJC, CBC, like Canadian National Observer. Like I've been able to have so many opportunities to talk about, climate issues and how to live sustainably. I've had so many amazing opportunities to communicate with all these people and, broadcast to BC, Canada, like different ways that climate activism really impacts us. And I think, sorry, what was the second part of the question?
No worries. How has the NYCAA ecosystem in turn enriched you or your continued work, which you've touched on a little bit?
Oh, okay. We were getting there.
Yeah.
So, with the interviews and stuff, I've definitely found a new love for climate activism. It started out just within my community of Westside in Kamloops, and now it's just grown to so many bigger things. And it's really inspired me to gain that confidence to pursue more things. And so that's led to me, volunteering for, local in sustainability projects in Victoria, like invasive species removal. It's helped me get amazing career opportunities. Like over the summer, I was a student ranger for BC Parks, where I got to participate in a lot of conservation and restoration projects. And that has really just opened the doors for everything. And so I think the award I got, I value so much. It's just been such an amazing opportunity. And I wouldn't be like where I am today as a climate activist without it.
I'm so happy to hear that. And also, as a fellow alumni, I can attest to what you say about it being a catalyst. And again, thank you for sharing all of that. And congratulations on all of your features across these widespread platforms. I cannot wait to, after this chat, search you up and begin to stalk you because I admire you.
Thank you.
So, Parker, on the last question, what are your next steps in terms of activism or your studies and your future in general?
Yeah, so in terms of my activism, I want to continue, participating in local projects. I would like to hopefully finish the Riverbank project within the next couple years. I know there's a couple issues just between, who's doing what kind of thing. And so, but and again, it'll happen. Like everything will work out. So, in terms of studies, I'm hoping to finish my degree in the next 2 or 3 years, which would be amazing. I want to go into wildlife restoration and conservation. So, hopefully, I'll be able to pursue a lot more projects involving that as well. And yeah, I just want to keep, supporting this award. I want to keep supporting other climate activists and trying to be a voice for those that maybe don't have one.
Mm. Oh, such a great response. And I think coming at the end of this conversation, I can see how you sort of planted the seed for everything, starting from not just from, but with a careers project to now restoring riverbanks and all and beyond, as well as your current studies that kind of come full circle with your initial interest in restoration. I think that I'm so excited to see where your path leads. So, thanks so much, Parker. And I don't know how to end this. Okay, thank you so much, Parker.
Thank you.